I'm just going to say hi. I'm Petra Marlin, the Director of International Admissions. Estefanía is going to be doing the presentation today mostly, but I'll be here on the chat if you have questions and try to answer those as they come along. Okay?
All right. Thanks, Petra, for being here, helping us. So let's get started. All right. Today we're going to talk about some practical tips to a successful essay and how that essay can help you in the future, okay? Or applying to different universities and things like that. First, we're going to talk about this. In the presentation, we're going to be talking about deadlines and format and brainstorm, experience, context, goals, faculty, professors, and your contribution, okay? So let's get started. About deadlines, well, you got to pay attention. It is very important so you can organize yourself, okay? The idea of organizing yourself is that you need to write like a first draft and then have someone to read your essay and see like maybe grammar mistakes or some vocabulary that you could enhance or improve. And then in the third phase of that process, you will change your essay, those mistakes you made in the first place, and then you will rewrite, okay? You will write again your essay. You can do that as many times as possible, have as many people as possible to read your essays and correct your mistakes or things that can be improved, and that's why you need a date, okay? A deadline to organize your thoughts and to organize your essay, okay, and turn it in the best thing, the best possible essay that you can have, okay. Regarding format, well, usually the format is going to be as it follows. It's going to be 1 inch in all of the margins, and then we're going to use 12 font Times New Roman font and 12 size, and then we're gonna use double space, okay? That's what they commonly use in their essays. And then now we are gonna jump into what is the content of our essay. In general, our brainstorm is going to address your personal and professional experience at the moment when you write your essay. So you will think about your experience and your context at that moment and what things you're doing at the moment. Are you studying? Are you working? And things like that in general. Then you can list your academic goals and your professional goals, or you can write them down as like full sentences. That will be fine. But this is in the general process, okay? We are still in the general process. And then you need to think about what you may offer to the university, okay? To the university you are applying. What can you offer? All right. Then more specifically, in terms of your content, the content of your essay, you need to focus on the experience and context you are having at that moment when you write, okay? So you gotta be specific, you need to be honest, and you should include answers to the following questions. What are you currently doing or studying, and why? Universities like to know, for example, if you if you graduated from high school and then wait for 1 year or 2 years and then you are trying to apply. So they like to know why. Why did you wait, or what were you doing at that moment? why didn't you apply just right away after you graduated from your high school? So those like gap years that we call it, we like to know what you were doing, okay? And what kind of experience you have, and what happened for you to decide you wanted to apply to this university, okay? And the last question we should be answering will be, how do you think these experiences or your studies make you the best candidate for this position, for this university? Okay, we like to know that as well. It is very important because each individual is special and is particular to one context or experience. So we like to know what's going on and why these students want to enter a university and why they think they can be the best. Okay.
Can I chime in here, Estefanía?
Yes, sure.
So I just want to differentiate a little bit between undergraduate and graduate essays, because a lot of times graduate essays are very, it's very particular to your program and what you want to study, like Estefanía outlined here, because they're wanting to know, like, are you a good fit for the program? So in terms of like being creative or anything like that, I don't know that graduate essays or graduate personal statements have a ton of room for creativity necessarily, because the department is just trying to get a sense of, what are your goals, what's your background, what kind of research were you focused on, or like, why are you passionate about that particular major that you want to go into? That's what they're really trying to gauge through those personal statements. Whereas with undergraduate essays, sometimes the school will provide certain essay prompts. Like if you've ever looked at the Common Application, they'll have very specific essay prompts, and they change them up sometimes. A lot of schools that accept the Common Application, that's fine if you do theirs, but some more selective and private schools, they may have very specific prompts or just one prompt that they have all students answer for that year. And so for the undergraduate essay, it is a little bit different in terms of they may not even want to know what you're studying or what, why you want to go into the field that you want to go into. Sometimes it's more like, talk about a challenge that you've overcome and how you've overcome it. That one's really popular. Or a certain experience that you've had and how that shaped your life. They're kind of, they get a little specific, but they're really trying to get more at who you are as a person, versus why you want to study what you want to study. So pay attention to the prompts. A lot of times with the undergraduate applications, there will be another space, like on the Common Application, they provide another space to explain, if you had any academic discrepancies, like maybe you had a year where your grades weren't as good, and so you can provide information there about that. Or if you had a break in your education, they'll have a separate section to provide answers to what kind of like the things that are stated here. Why did you take a break? What were you doing in between? That kind of thing. And generally schools want to know that if you did take a break, they just want to make sure that you didn't go to another college or university. But for the undergraduate one, those ones are where you want to try to set yourself apart from everyone else and not talk about the same kind of experiences that everyone else might talk about, and really try to get personal, and try to pick out, how does something affect you in a certain way? Like if you say, or it might say, pick something that you're really concerned about, and you say, well, I'm concerned about climate change, and you write this really general essay about climate change that you've like researched. It's not a research paper, it's how you feel about it. Like, how has climate change affected your life personally, and what are you worried about in the future? That's kind of how you attack those essay topics, because it's I know what has been reported on climate change. I read all of that. But repeat that doesn't tell me, that doesn't help me get to know you as a person more. So hopefully that makes sense there.
Yes.
Turn it back.
Yes, definitely. I was thinking, like, actually, I was gonna talk a little bit about that, because actually at a university, we don't really require an essay. We always like to, for undergrad.
We don't.
We always like.
But like, for example, for if you were to apply to our honors college, which is kind of like almost like being in a small liberal arts college within the university, that application would require an essay, and much like a college essay for other schools that require an essay. So that's something to think about. Not all of schools require an essay for undergraduate students, but some schools do. And usually those are kind of used to, you know, if they have too many eligible students to be admitted, then it could come down to the essay or a teacher's letter of recommendation as to who they're going to end up admitting. Because if, you know, look at like Harvard gets so many 4.0 students that they can't even admit all of them. It's too many. So they have all these students with super outstanding academic backgrounds. So then it comes down to things like the essay, the letters of recommendation, and the things that you were involved in or that you did while you were in high school, for example.
Exactly. Yes. So let's go to the goals, okay, and things we should be answering when we think of our goals, and we're writing the essay. Again, be clear. Don't get lost on different really long sentences and things like that. Be clear, be specific, to the point, and try to include answers to these questions that I'm showing you, such as what would you like to obtain or by pursuing that specific degree at that specific university, okay? What kind of knowledge would you like to obtain, okay, to gain from that experience at that university? How do you think that university may help you with those goals? Is it the location of the university? Is it the specific academic program? What is it that made you think this is the best university that can help you with your goals, okay, that you have? So think about that when you are writing about your goals, okay? Be very, very specific about your goals. And then faculty. This part is going to be more oriented to that specific section that Petra was talking about, graduate students, okay? When we talk about graduate students, we talk about people who want to study master's degree, PhD, things like that. And so they are kind of looking for the different, this research, this investigation. And so when we think about faculty professors, I would like you to think about researching the university website and looking specifically for the faculty in your department, okay, your field of study, and find those professors that are what are they mainly investigating about, and try to decide if one of those professors really, that's something that is very important to you, or you feel is a very important issue, or you would love to investigate with that professor. Because when you are a graduate student, that's what you are going to do. So you're going to research, and you're going to be working closely with your professors. So that's why this step is very, very, very important for graduate students, okay? To kind of make your essay stand out, that you have made your research, that you really want to go to that university because of this one faculty, this one professor that really amazes you, his research or her research, and things like that. Okay, that's very important to highlight one of the professors so they know you have done your investigation. Okay, and also it's good for you because you will know, okay, if I go to this university, I will really love working with this or that other professor. So it's not that, oh, I just want to go to this university. You gotta be always specific and try to justify your answers, okay? So that's, be consistent, okay? Try always to justify or most of all when you are a graduate student, okay? Then at the end of your essay, they will be probably expecting you talking about your contribution to this institution, okay? So at the end, you will have to conclude and again, be honest and specific and try to add these answers to these questions. What could be your contribution to that specific university? Again, we kind of go around the first, like the introduction, your experiences and all that, and how can they make you the best. So again, how can those contributions, like your experiences and all that, help the university? Okay, how, like why, excuse me, how are you a good fit for this university? Why are you the best candidate? Okay, so we will be thinking about those questions at the end of our essay, okay? And so what may you gain from writing an outstanding essay? As Petra was saying before, you can get a position to study what you want at the university that you want, and of course, more financial aid available, more scholarships. As I was saying, in our case, the University of Southern Mississippi doesn't require an essay to our undergraduate students, okay? But we also have an honors college that Petra can talk to you about those benefits from attending honors college, to make something like very general remark about honors colleges, that we have like maybe regular classes and then we have honors classes. And so in your curriculum at the end, and all the experiences and opportunities that will give you the fact that you attend honors college instead of just regular classes and all that, is gonna make really a difference. Also, we have scholarships for those at honors college, so you could get up to $8,000, okay, because it's $2,000 every year. So, and they require an essay, all right? And it was mostly about your personal experience and how things affect you and specific issues and things like that. But still, you gotta think about writing an outstanding essay, because it's not just writing an essay will get you into honors college and things like that. And definitely for graduate students who wants to study master's degree or PhDs, they will, most of the universities, I don't know really any that doesn't require you to write an essay. Maybe Petra knows some universities that don't require you to write an essay for their graduate schools, but usually most of them you will need your essay and you will need letters of recommendations. Okay, so
most of them require an essay for graduate schools, just because that gives them, because so often slots in graduate programs are really specific to, you know, can they find a faculty member to work with you on your research and that kind of thing. And so that's kind of why the essay is important. So I can give an example of my personal experience when I went for my master's degree. I wanted to do a degree in counseling, and specifically I wanted a focus on multicultural counseling, and not all counseling programs have that focus, and so I went after programs and schools that had that, and so that was, you know, I made sure that the schools that I was applying to would be a good fit for the type of specialty in counseling that I was interested in. And I got admitted to several schools. I eventually went to University of Hawaii, Manoa, because there are a lot of cultures represented there, and that was one of their very strong focuses. And so, you know, when they called me and interviewed me, and you know, they were like, yeah, that fits really well, because I had lived in Germany and everything, and you know, their main concern was I willing to come, because I was so far away, and I was, so I went. But that was something, you know, of course, that was information that I included in my personal statement about, you know, why I was choosing that program and why that was important to me.
Yes, yes, it's always very important to add that kind of information, okay, to kind of stand yourself out of the other students, because there may be many students who apply to that specific program. So I'm going to talk about our university and give you some information about our institution. So we have two campuses. The main campus is located in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We were founded in 1910 as a teachers college. Petra, is that correct? Like teachers, or?
Yeah, we were a teachers college, so education was a strong focus. Was the focus, and it's still a very strong.
Still, yeah. So we are a mid-sized university. We hold around 50,000 students, and some details about our institution that make us special is that we are athletics. We are a Division I in athletics, so we are very strong in sports. We were recognized a couple of years ago by the Carnegie Research Intensive, so many of our faculty take our students for that path, okay, that investigation and research path. And one of the programs that we always like to highlight is our business program. We are among only 1% of schools dually accredited in business and accounting. So that's a very strong program if you are interested in that. And you can enter in our website to see we have over 180 academic programs, undergrad and graduate programs. And the ones that we like to highlight is the polymer science and engineering. That is very, very special. Most of the universities offer that program only as a master's degree or PhD, but we also have the bachelor's degree in polymer science and engineering. It's a very specific field that is about combining math and physics and chemistry and applying those to problems in the real life. In our case, in our university, we focus on biomedical, sports, and aerospatial. And so if you are interested in something like that, that's a very specific program, but 95% of our graduated students who graduate from that program have a job right away. 95%. That's a very high percentage. And then These are the requirements to apply to our any of our undergraduate programs. We need an online application, which costs $40, and then we need your transcripts and a proof of English, your English proficiency. If you don't attend an accredited school, or you're not getting the IB diploma or something like that, we will need the proof of English proficiency. Or we could also have it through the SAT. If you get a 480 in the English portion, or we also accept TOEFL or IELTS or ITEP, okay, for the undergrads. These are the scholarships we offer. So you will only need to submit your online application, your transcripts, and your English, your proof of English proficiency. And if you have a 3.0 or higher GPA, and you have one of those scores, you get one of those scores in your SAT, then you will get from $2,500 to full value of tuition. Okay, so if you get the highest scholarship, you wouldn't have to worry about tuition. Then we also have the honor scholarship, which is an additional $2,000 every year for 4 years. And our admissions scholarship, which is the annual academic excellence scholarship discount, is automatic. So only having 3.0 GPA, your SAT score, and your admission date, that's what I was talking about before, also have into account the dates, okay, and the deadlines. They are very, very important. So in our case, these will be our deadlines. It will be December 1st, okay? But by December 1st, you only need to have your online application filled and paid, and then transcripts and proof of English. You don't need the SAT by that moment, okay? You can have it, your score, your SAT score, by February 1st, and you will still be eligible for this scholarship, okay? But you have to have, by December 1st, you have to have your online application, your proof of English proficiency, and your transcripts that you need to have by that moment, so you can be admitted, okay? And then for graduate admissions, we offer assistantships. And so in your online application, you will have to check the little square that we have called assistantships. If you want to be considered for an assistantship that will waive your tuition, you would not have to pay tuition, or maybe you have to pay just half of it. It depends on your department scholarship or assistantship that they have. Plus, you will also have like a small salary, which is called stipend, and they will give you that monthly, okay, like a payment, because an assistantship is basically that you will be working in your department doing something related to your field, and they will be paying you for that, okay? And so for the graduate admissions, that's the scholarship we have, that the assistantship is what we offer, but there is not like a separate application or anything like that. You only need your online application is $60, and then your transcripts, English proof of proficiency, and then GRE. The GRE and the other tests are waived for now because of the because of the COVID-19, we are waiving those tests. And then you will need 3 letters of recommendations. It says email addresses because we will automatically send an email to that person, and that person will send us their letter of recommendation. And so 3 email addresses, and then your statement of purpose. That will be kind of the essay that I've been talking about the most, okay, the kind of essay. And then this will be the yearly cost with no assistantships or scholarships, nothing. That will be the total cost, okay? It will be the tuition, then the fees. We try always to include everything. You have to make sure that you look at the real total cost when you are looking at different universities, because sometimes they don't include maybe the insurance, and that's another amount, or maybe the housing is not there, or maybe it's not the real price. So you always need to be smart about that. Our housing that we state here is regarding our on-campus housing. So one of the most affordable housing or residence hall that we have on campus, that will be the price. And then the meal plan, if you decide to live on campus, you need to buy also the meals plan, because you won't have anything anywhere to cook. You only have like a fridge and a microwave in your room. So they make you buy, and that will be the price of that meal plan. And then books and supplies and personal, if you want to go on a field trip or something like that, that we estimated like $100 a month, okay, for that. And then your insurance, which is a little lower this year because we are changing the health insurance, and you also need to be aware of that some schools will let you have your international insurance, but in some cases you are required to purchase the insurance that the university offers, okay? That's the case of the University of Southern Mississippi. You need to get the insurance that we offer. It's not really good to get just the international insurance or anything, but we require our international students, all of our students, but international students in this case, to have insurance. And these are our emails or contact information in case you have any questions. Here I also included the sources, so you can have a look that I use. And then I'm gonna leave you with our information here so you can see it. And if you have any questions, that was the whole presentation. If Petra wants to add anything else.
Let's see, I could go through some of these questions just so we can kind of address them in face-to-face, and I address some of them.
Yes.
One of the first questions was about graduate programs in TOEFL or TEFL. And so I addressed that we don't have a TEFL program that is in person. Is that right, Estefanía? Is online, but you can address that because you went through those programs.
Yes, there are some like hybrid programs, and you are talking, Petra, about the model program, or?
Yeah, I mean, I addressed that to you. I said that you came and went through the model program, but you were getting certified to teach Spanish and French, correct?
Yes.
But did you put English along with it somehow, or?
Yes. So all of them were included. The only thing is that my assistantship was granted for Spanish because I was also teaching Spanish. So I was getting certified to teach Spanish, but I also had my master's degree from Spain, so I could teach Spanish. So I was observing and also teaching classes. And apart from that, I also had to study some online courses so that I could get certified to teach English as well. And what I used to teach was Spanish and French, but I didn't teach English, well, because we don't really have that. The English part or the English portion was completely online. So, but that was kind of my experience. I don't know if I answer completely.
If you have more questions, that was from let's see, was that from Leticia earlier or Pedro maybe? What's that? No, Leticia. Anyway, you could email Estefanía separately if you have questions about that specifically.
Let me write my email.
Yeah. Let's see. So one of the other questions that really pertained to this was a student that has to write a Fulbright, an essay for Fulbright, and it can only be one page. And so my advice to that was to really have a clear outline of what you want to write. I find sometimes, and this is something that I learned like way back in my English 101 class, is that we tend to use a lot of words that are not necessary when we're writing essays. Just because we feel like we need to fill a page or something like that. And that's a great way to go back through your essay and go, okay, was I kind of redundant here? Do I really need this? There are a lot of filler words that we don't realize that we use. And so when you need to cut down on things, it's like getting rid of those filler words that tend to sound more like how we sound when we're talking versus when we're writing. You really want to get rid of unnecessary words. That's just a tip across the board for essay writing, and just trying to keep things shorter and really focusing on what is it that they are asking for, and then just creating a clear outline, addressing those, being really to the point, and then having a short conclusion. So that would be my advice.
On that, I would say also for you to have a first draft, not being concerned about the amount of words that you have to put there. Just put all out, and then once you have that done, let's coming back chopping things up. So
that's right.
we can some things better once you have put everything that you feel like saying into the paper.
Another question was, do you have graduate programs that have grants based on GRE score and GPA? They're not really grants, they're called assistantships. So they expect you to teach in return for for them giving you funding. But yes, the selection of students for assistantships can be based on GRE score and GPA. Usually I think they also require an interview, so they're gonna see how you interact with people, because you're gonna be talking to students and that kind of thing. So it's not solely based on that. They may have more to that process where they're going to interview you as well. We had a question about soccer, and we do have intramural sports, and so men's soccer is part of intramural sports, I believe, and possibly also club sports, which club sports is a little more competitive, but you're not getting a scholarship for it. And sometimes those teams travel as well to other schools. But the only program we have a Division I team for is for women's soccer, not for men's soccer. So.
Do we have any further
questions? Some really great questions. It was fun. Very interactive.
Okay, so if you have further questions for the attendees in this session, please let us know. You can still go to the chat and leave your question there. For now, I just want to thank you all for being here. I have a quick announcement to make that if you are applying to American University, or if you have been admitted to American University, we'll be hosting a session for the ones that are going to get started with their classes in the fall. So we'll be talking about American culture and classroom culture and how to adapt to this new online situation. And will be very interesting because we will also be providing updates into this current situation that we've been living in about the COVID-19. So if you were admitted or if you are in this process, just let us know so you can have more information. All the events are going to be shared and are shared in our website, educationusa.org.br. You're going to find there all the information under agenda. And also this and other sessions that have already been taken before are made available in our YouTube channel. So if you want to just have access to these sessions, just go to the Education USA Brasil YouTube channel, and you'll find all the information on these sessions and the recording about them as well. For this session, we'll be sending you an email with the recording, the link for the recording, and also the presentation, right? We'll be sharing the presentation, I believe. So if you want that information, just be attentive to your email box that will be getting there, okay? Any further questions that you want to put? Any further last considerations? Okay, so thank you, Petra. Thank you, Stefania, for being here today. It was a great session. Thank you for letting us know more about this, about your institution. And let's hope that we'll be back soon, in person, maybe. Who knows? Next time. It would be great to have you.
Thank you so much, Jefferson, for organizing and coordinating this successful meeting.
Thank you. Thank you for making this possible. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all who were able to participate today, to join us today. Hope to see you next week on our next presentations. A quick reminder, if you have any questions, please attend to our Plantão Education USA. We have always an Education USA advisor standing by every day of the week, so you can talk to and get your doubts cleared. Okay, so thank you once again, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.